Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Chinwag number 132. And this is going to be a Derulo or solo edition of the chat. It feels a little bit strange because Beck, who is normally with me, is not going to be with me today. So it's just going to be me on my own chatting for a bit about the week on eBay with you guys like we normally do, except on my own. Which is going to be a bit sad, but it should be fine. For those of you that are interested, Beck has just decided to take tonight off. Hopefully she'll be back next week, if her condition improves. When I say condition, that makes it sound really super serious. She basically really got a horrible backache she's been struggling with the whole week, and she's been going into work, and she just couldn't face sitting live for another hour, so you're just gonna be stuck with me. Maybe she'll pop into the chat and say hi, I don't know, but I think she's off for a bath, so I'll say a few highs to the lovely chat. Thank you for your guys' support. Really do appreciate everyone popping in. Karen was first in, back from our holidays, looking refreshed. Thanks for popping in, Karen. We've got PvP Pleasant Valley Picker. Heiser here was just about to give up and saw your reminder really late tonight. Sorry to hear Becky's not feeling well. Say hi for me. I will do. She's fine. It's just, we've been finding that Fridays have been a bit of a struggle, especially because she finishes late and she normally has to shut the surgery up. And then like this week, like I said, she's been really struggling with this horrible backache. So she's just off for a hot bath. So hopefully that's going to cheer her up and make her feel a bit better. But really, yeah, I will pass that on. And Shazad has popped in. Hi, Shazad. Bexify has popped in. Hi, Bexify. Peter Ray, Southwest Sellers. The late Mr. Malik in chat. And Janet Plant, KLC Reselling, Lincoln Seller, Swamp Picker as well. And Bad Biscuit is going for the nursery rhyme look there. Lex there. Hi, Z, what luscious locks you have. Thank you, Lex. I do appreciate that lovely compliment. They're looking quite good. They're starting to get to the point where they're kind of jarring me a little bit, because like Beck takes the mick out. First of all, this is the first thing. Beck ruthlessly takes the mick out of me, because apparently when my hair gets to a certain length, like the last time it grew really long, I kind of flick it naturally. I don't mean to do it, but I do like a flick. And I'm not going to try to do a flick because it won't work. Do you know what I mean? I can't force a hair flick, but apparently a hair flick, which is not a good look on me, but it makes Beck laugh a lot, and she ruthlessly exploits that and takes the mick out of me. So that's the first reason. Secondly, when I'm out, I was out, I can't remember where, and the wind was blowing and the hair was going everywhere. And at that point, I really wish I could have tied it back, but I really don't want to tie my hair back or anything like that. But, it is what it is. So yeah, that's like a hair update for you guys that are interested. Okay, Swamp Picker says hi. Kevin Rosen, BCP as well. Ford Club GB Media Group. Wow, that is a hell of a username. Hello, Ford Club GB Media Group. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. First Chinwag solo asks Pleasant Valley. I'm not 100% certain, but most likely yes. I can't remember. I think probably it will be the first. Or I've got a sneaking suspicion there may be another. I'm not 100%. I can't remember things too well though. And Lincoln Seller says hi as well. Mandy says hello. Can't stay, got visitors. No worries, Mandy. She's always flipping. Mandy has popped in. Thank you for popping in. Appreciate it. Backache is not fun, says PvP. No, it certainly is not. It can be horrible. Get some deep heat roll on. She actually prefers using the cream, Karen. And she has been putting that stuff on a lot, and trust me, we can all smell it. It's pretty strong stuff, and yes, she's using it though. So there we go. Maybe move Chinwag to another day, says Pleasant Valley. Possibly it could be something we look into, a PvP, but we're all good. Z will look like Fabio. I don't think so. See, you missed me last week with my thirst for reseller knowledge, says Karen. Beck told us it's a wig, says the truth. It's not. Come on, guys. This is legit, guys. This is just long hair. Anyway. Hi Z, it's RJ. Glad you said hello. The only one, lol. Looking well, says Okay, RJ. I like the name though. Z, you could get Alf to share the Chinwag with you. You know what? We we joked about this. Rebecca actually said you could get Alf to sit next to you, but he would end up just, I don't know. He's sleeping in the living room. He'd just end up sleeping and farting here. Shazad suggests Voltarol 12-hour gel. Yeah, we might try that. I think I've tried Voltarol before and I wasn't impressed by it, if I'm honest with you. And the truth says I'm hitting the thumbs up for overworked Beck. I was very kind of you, the truth. Yeah, poor thing. She's going through the walls a little bit. Definitely, she's going to enjoy her weekend. So yeah, I mean, she was working with me in the office today as well, guys. So before she actually goes in on a Friday, she's actually in there working in the office and then going to work. So yeah, I did make dinner though. I mean, admittedly it was just pasta pesto, but it's still something. I had a steak pasty. It's like a steak. Yeah. Anyway, that's not really what we're here for. We will talk about sales, guys. eBay this week for sales. One thing I want to say is, we all love the mantras about just keep listing, keep going, and things will get better, etc. And we all like to be positive about it. And I am honestly positive about it. However, it's definitely something to bear in mind is you're not necessarily going to be rewarded for your work straight away. Since us moving into the office, and since moving into the office and kind of like being more productive, I mean, today, for example, we managed to get 43 listings up, 43 drafts done, which is not bad. We had some more yesterday. We're listing a lot more consistently. Our inventory has grown a fair amount since moving into the office. I think we're close to 1,600 listings on the hobby store. I think we're on about 200 plus listings on the general store. So, that's like nearly 1,800 listings. And so we're definitely increasing our work, the amount of work we're putting into the business, right? Where we're definitely increasing that. Unfortunately, we're increasing it at the same time as like a traditionally slow time of the year when it comes to selling. And we're not seeing the results. In fact, we have seen really kind of tough sales considering the amount of listings we've got, amount of work we've got. Bear in mind, guys, so we've got nearly 1,800 items listed. We use the web interpret service, so our items are listed across like 8 different eBay stores. We use the markdown manager sales. We are using send offers to buyers. We're using promoted listings, and we're listing regularly. And all of these things combined is still meaning that we are actually down compared to last year. And it's just the way it's been. This year has been overall slower than last year for us. This last week, again, has been a slower week. I will get into the numbers and share those with you, of course, as usual. And the name of the store could be better, says Shazad. I like the new name of the store, Only Cool RC, Shazad. I like it. By the way, Karen, thank you so much. It is completely mega generous of you. Karen has just super chatted £5. Get Beck some bath salts. That is just very kind of you, Karen. We don't expect that from you guys, but thank you so much. My favorite color appears to be red on eBay at the moment, says Karen. I think it's important to just remind yourself, because Beck and I have been talking about this during the week as well, that we are putting so much more work in. We're putting a lot of graft in, and we're not seeing the kind of results that we would expect for the work. However, the fact of the matter is you don't get to choose when you see those results. All you can do is put in as much groundwork as you can, and it's kind of like you're putting the groundwork in, so for when things do pick up, you are in a good position to take advantage of them. That's the way we're looking at it. And without kind of dilly-dallying about this anymore, let's get into the sales figures. Let me just show you guys the general store first, because the general store is doing really decently for the amount of items, etc. Now, here's the general stores sales for the past 7 days. There's no data for last year because we weren't running it. So the general store, this is the store where we sell all like our car boot type purchases, right? So this is all the car boot stock and that kind of all the car boot finds, charity shop finds, things like that. And we have over the past 7 days sold £311 worth of stuff. That's just 10 transactions and a £31 average selling price. So that's on the general store that we're selling on. So that's £311. The hobby store, which is established, top-rated seller, thousands of items listed. As you can see, we have taken a battering on it. We are 45% down compared to the same time last year. 45% down, £497 we've taken. So that is a real dip compared to the previous year. Our number of transactions has taken a big dip as well. 31% down their number of transactions, and our average selling price is on £17, which is 21% down from a year ago. And you can see the blue line is this year's performance, so the blue line is this year's performance, the yellow line is last year's performance. You can see there were a couple of days last year where we had some really strong-ish sales. They're £200, 140, 100, all over 100. So this year we've been £80, £55, £70, £47, £67, £100, £72, and then today, I don't know why it's not caught up with that, but £497. So a real big dip. Overall, the turnover is £808 over 7 days. So that's in itself, that's a positive. Bearing in mind, the stock we sell on this hobby store, literally owes us nothing now. It's all been paid for, and we've got stacks of it, and we've still got stacks of it that we're listing, which is the positive side of it. And we're growing our inventory, and hopefully when things do pick up, and I hate to use that word hopefully because it feels like I'm just relying on magically things picking up, and they may never pick up and we'll have to make a decision if they don't, but we're hoping this is the slow period. This is what we saw last year in a way as well. Sales wise, we're on a 60 to almost a 60-40 split domestically to international. So we're still selling a lot of stuff internationally, and I believe over the year it's almost 50-50. So the past 7 days it's 63-37. So 63% of our sales are UK, 37% are international. But like I said, over the year, it's almost a 50-50 split. And we've actually had 15% returning customers as well. So those are some figures for you. And finally, the final bunch of figures. This is our web interpret over the past 4 weeks. This has dropped a significant amount. We weren't touching like the £800 mark when we started. It's still nice to know that we're getting these sales, so I'm not knocking it. It's still £500 of sales that we potentially could not have gotten. I mean, obviously these guys that have bought from these sites. So Web Interpret, for those of you that don't know, is a service which lists your items for you on all the different eBay sites. So you can see we're listed on 8 different eBay sites. We're listed on eBay Australia, eBay Canada, French Canada, Germany, Spain, France, Italy, and Los Estados Unidos de America. So those are the 8 countries that we are listed on. So they list on those 8 countries for you. We've got nearly 1,500 items listed on those, and these are the sales that have come from those other sites. Now it's possible that if these weren't there, those buyers may have just come to eBay UK and bought, but it's also possible that they wouldn't have, because obviously there's language issues as well. So you can see we've actually had a big chunk of sales from Germany and France there. Well, you can't see it. There you go. There's a big chunk of sales from Germany and France there, and £172 to the US, 145 to Germany, 115 to France. So it's still a good service in my opinion. It's just everything seems to be a bit lower than we would like at the moment, considering the amount of work we put in. And it's tough to kind of have to accept that, but it is just the way it is. you have to go through these kind of tips, and there's a great saying from the Batman Dark Knight movie, which is, and I love saying this, and it's, the night is darkest just before the dawn. So sometimes you have to bear that in mind, that just because you're doing a lot of work, a lot of listing, a lot of everything, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get instant results for all that work you're doing. So it's definitely worth pointing out. And also, the other thing to point out is, you just have to look around, and you'll find examples of sellers doing really well, but you'll also find examples of sellers that you normally expect to do well that aren't doing so well. So for example, if some of you follow Scavenger Life, it was only last week that those guys who have been on eBay for over a decade have got thousands, I think it was like 8,000 items listed on eBay, 8,000 individual unique listings on eBay, because they sell stuff from auctions and thrift stores and things like that. They've got 8,000 items, and they had a $900 week, which is for them is very low. Normally they're in the $2,000+ a week of sales, so even they had a massive drop, over 50%. It happens. So I'm not crying, because we still at the end of the day turned over £808, and if that is what is now a tough week for us, mustn't grumble. But it's just interesting because we've been putting a lot of work in, and it's just coincided at the time we've got the office now. We're doing a lot of work, but our results are just not showing it, which is sad. Gary, Southwest Seller, says, agrees, May to July is always my slowest month, but up 44% on last year. I stopped selling anything lower than £10 unless it goes large letter. You've got to look at your average selling price. All of our lower, we've got loads of stock that's under £10, but it all goes as, not only does it go as large letter, it goes as large letter under 100 grams, so it costs us 80 pence to ship. Has been since beginning of May, and ditto, most listed since last August, but I've decided this month is about clearing my sticky stock, says Karen. It's you have to be like that. Bad backs are not joking. I was sent home for 2 days last week. I'm in pain daily. I've bought a TENS machine that gives some relief, but most days just try and put up with it, says Jason. Oh, Jason, sorry to hear that, man. Jason, I know you've got quite a physical job as well. Bad backs are definitely not a joke. Need some ready to run RC cars, maybe, Z, says Pleasant Valley Picker. Funny you should say that. We have actually gotten a couple. We did actually sell one, which is nice, but we do need to increase our inventory for that kind of thing. Pleasant Valley, I think that will help. Southwest Sellers, Gary says, only sold 17 this week for £567. Normally sell an average of 25 plus. That's the thing. We tend to, we're selling, according to the figures over the last week, we're doing on average, we're consistently, let me just show you this. Actually, this is quite a good point Gary's brought up. If you actually look at the benefits of listing regularly and having a good inventory, we're consistently at the same level of transactions, which is, in this case, it's not good because it's consistently low, but when times are good, we're doing normally 10 plus transactions a day. But you can see 4 transactions, 3, 4, 5, and then just the one recorded there. So there is a consistency there. It's just consistently bad, which is not what we want, but we normally do 10 plus, right? So it's just the way it is at the moment, but it's something there. Darren K asks, do RC parts age? They are for models that are less popular, less used. Very good point, Darren. Yes, it's true, they do age. However, it's really difficult to gauge what will be popular and what won't be popular when it comes to RC parts. It really is a case of having a huge inventory, because you just don't know, guys. You really don't know. One of our best selling sets of parts is by a brand called Thunder Tiger, and it's not the new stuff, it's really old, out of date stuff, and most of our other stuff as well. It kind of just works like that. It's just one of those ways. Jason, ditto, says Karen, I have constant ache in mind, but what can you do? Just get on. Yeah, back pain is not nice. Question, and serious reselling one for a change. Have you tried Amazon to sell them? You know what, Karen, I have, on a very small amount, and it did sell, but I'm not sure about Amazon with these parts because they are old, they're vintage. I think eBay is the place for them, if I'm honest. Nick has popped in, says, damn, nearly missed it. How's things here? Things are fine, Nick. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. Hope you're well too. Right. Shazad says, question, how are you finding Terapeak? I have had amazing results. By far and away the biggest competitive advantage on eBay at the moment. Terapeak is very useful. I can't say it's like I can't say it's helped me in the same way that it's probably helping you. I could see it would be really useful if I was, for example, looking to buy stock from like a wholesaler, and I wanted to judge whether I could work with the margins being offered. It's a great tool for that, because then you can see how many times an item has sold, etc. How regularly does it sell? What price does it achieve? So in that way, it will make your buying decisions really strong. I think it will come in more handy when we start buying more wholesale type products. But at the moment, it's a great research tool. But we're not getting the full benefit out of it like you would, Shazad. I think if you're buying like wholesale, I think it gives you not just a research advantage. I think it gives you like a future research advantage. Not just historical sales data to see what you can price things at, but you can kind of look at like trends and things on things that you're about to buy. It's okay, Nikki, it's fashionably late and can't blame Bex. She's had a bad back, so resting up. Thanks for explaining it, Karen. Right, Z's only been on 14 minutes, Nick. Late again. I was having my dinner, mine is closer to having two big babies close together, so for once is all kids' fault. I just try and plow through as would have to if in a 9 to 5, says Karen. Okay. Nick just got home from picking the wife's new car up, a 2013 Mini One diesel in burnt orange. Oh, nice, Jason. I hope the missus enjoys that. Well, dawn must be coming soon. My last 3 weeks have been dark indeed, says BBB. It is the way it is. DMH says, hi all. Question, have you noticed an increase in returns? Not really, Karen. No, returns haven't gone up or anything like that. Our returns are fine. It's just a case of the amount of people buying has just dropped. It is what it is. Last summer was good and steady. Need to clear old stock and list some new. And Nick says sales took a big dip for us, but I can't complain as took most of last week off. You reap what you sow, I guess. I think you do, but what I was saying is that you can, just because you've done a lot of sowing doesn't mean you're gonna instantly do a lot of reaping. We've all been in that situation where, like, we've all been there where we're getting sales even though we haven't done much work. I know we've certainly been in that situation where we've not been doing much listing, yet it feels like we can't stop selling. Stuff is selling all the time. And conversely, we're now in a situation where we have done a lot of work, but we don't seem to be getting as many sales as we have done when we haven't been doing work. So I think definitely there's truth in, obviously, what you reap what you sow, but the time frame of that is definitely a variable, I think. And Karen says, I can't really grumble at mine too much as didn't come back until Wednesday, but so far since yesterday morning I've sold a whole 4 items in a store that has just under 1,100 listings. It is quiet. It will get better. Nick says, where is Beck? Is she okay? Yeah, she's absolutely fine. She's taking the evening off. She's had a bit really rough backache this week, so and she wasn't in the mood to be going on a chat after doing a late shift at work, and again her back's been giving her grief, so she's actually enjoying a bath. That's so hopefully she'll be feeling a lot better. Sean says, sales booming on Amazon for me. eBay is dying. Interesting. I mean, I think it's swings and roundabouts. And Peter Ray says, hope those comics do well. Got lots to list myself. And Shazad says, I have to go. It's iftar time. Well, thanks for popping in, Shazad. I do appreciate it. He says, I think the comics will be slow. eBay so flooded in comics, Peter. It depends though. Like, sometimes you think that, and then you might list something that someone's looking for, and they'll sell straight away. Stu Mandry says evening. Hi, Stu. And Kez18 says hi as well. Claire Thompson says hi as well. Yeah, so I do appreciate you guys popping in. It is very good, very kind of you to join me. I know it was a bit late, and it is just me. It's the Derulo edition. So yeah, sales have just been the way they are, and we just have to keep positive and keep going with it. Other than that, I don't really have a great deal to add, guys. So unless you guys have got any more questions or comments, I'm getting the itch to get on and play some Fortnite, and it is Fortnite Friday tonight for those of you that don't know. So it's something that I'm kind of looking forward to. One thing I will say as well is I really, really cannot tell you guys just the benefits of having a space dedicated to your business that you can shut away and not look at. It doesn't have to be an office. It doesn't have to be a shed. It can be just an area of your house. If you can be really disciplined with it and structure your time, you will feel a lot better. Like, even though it's been a really rough week in terms of how I feel in terms of the sales, considering how much work we've done, I know I've worked hard this week. Beck knows she's worked hard this week. We're now at the weekend and we're going to chill. It's just switch off. You can relax and it feels good. You can enjoy your evening. You can enjoy your weekend. And that's something I really do think is, it's been a real positive to come out of this. So even though obviously for us, the office is an extra cost, it's so worth it. It's so worth it. Right. I don't think eBay is doomed, to be honest, as I'm sure we say this every year. Karen, eBay is not doomed. Just to clarify, guys, I'm not making this video, or I'm not talking about this in this stream to say, there's something wrong with eBay or anything like that. Because just as we are not getting great sales, there are plenty of people that are. Okay, there's plenty of people that are doing well. There is really not any there's no conspiracy, there's none of that. I don't believe eBay shrinking. They offer a very unique service. There are not many, name me a platform that can offer you that much access to such a targeted audience. Now, I know people will say Facebook Marketplace. The problem with Facebook as a platform and as a selling platform is not everybody is on Facebook to buy things, okay? As soon as if you're selling on Facebook Marketplace, obviously the people searching Marketplace are there to be buying. But I bet you that the audience looking for things on Facebook Marketplace versus the audience looking for things on eBay is going to be greater on eBay. So even though Facebook has more users than eBay, I would guess that eBay is going to have more buyers browsing its website at any one time than people browsing a Facebook Marketplace on Facebook. That's what I would say. So considering what they offer, I don't think there's anyone that really offers what they offer. So I think it's easy to kind of knock them and be like, they're not doing as well as they used to. It's not like it was. People used to buy stuff all the time. I don't buy that. People are still buying stuff all the time. Just as I'm here boohooing about how sales have been, you can find 10 other resellers, 100 other resellers that could show you this week's sales figures, and they would be incredible. So I really don't think it's that. I think it's just everyone's business is unique. The way they implement their business is unique. I bet you there's RC sellers that are having a great week this week because they're better RC sellers. So they're better at doing what they do than I am. So it's just the way it is, that maybe they list better. And that's my job to learn what those guys are doing who are doing better than I am and try to emulate that. So just to clarify, I don't think it is, eBay is, it's slow, or it may be slow for you, but there's always a reason behind it. So just something to think about. Just go back into the chat for a bit, guys. If you've got any questions or anything, let me know, guys, because I really don't have a great deal else to talk about. So just putting it out there. And like I said, I am going to be going off to watch Friday Fortnite and playing some Fortnite myself. There we go. Nick says, I'm experimenting with Facebook Marketplace for selling again and have given Spock a second chance, spreading my eggs around. That sounds very naughty, Nick, spreading your eggs around. And anyway, I didn't realize that you were capable of spreading eggs, but that's good to know. I think that's a really good point as well. Nick actually has mentioned on a number of occasions how he didn't really have a great deal of success with Spock, but things change, marketplaces change. So just because you may not have had a great experience in the past, it's not really an indicator that you're going to have the same experience again if you were to try that platform again. So say you had a really terrible experience on Spock before, it's still worth trying again, especially if you feel that you need more turnover, you want to like get a bit more stability in your sales. It doesn't harm. What is the weirdest thing you've picked up this week? Asked Karen. That's an interesting question. I don't know. I don't think I've picked up a great deal. We actually picked up a couple of bits of nice electronics. We picked up. What did I pick up? Picked up a nice DV camcorder and a CD player, but that's about it this week. Nothing strange, nothing weird. And Sean says, yeah, eBay sales dropped for me this time last year. Thank God I have Amazon. Otherwise, I'll have to look for a part-time job. More source of incomes we generate, the better. Very true, Sean. And Karen says, what was the best thing I done was section off my living room. I'm not allowed in there on days off. Karen, I hope you stick to that like really strongly, because I completely understand where you're coming from. Definitely, you should not allow yourself in there on your days off. Weekends have become infinitely better for us. We feel a lot better. Just the evenings, there's got to be a good cut off, and it makes you feel really good. Southwest says, I've been watching The Wire, so we'll go back to watching my watching watching-a-thon, says Southwest says. Okay. World Event says, hi all, there is a bug on eBay recently stopping a lot of buyers from being able to check out items, which would explain slow sales for people. That has been known to happen. Sometimes if I'm not sure it's happened to me because we've not had any messages in the past where we've had buyers unable to check out. Sometimes they've messaged. Obviously, most people won't bother messaging you. But yeah, that would be a shame. Karen says, no, didn't think you was. Yeah, I was just making sure that people knew what I was saying. I am one of the people affected by this. I can't check out buy items on my account, says World Events. Oh, that is interesting to know, World Events. Thanks for sharing that. That wouldn't be good if that was what was happening. Facebook is awful for non-payers, says Karen. Possibly, but you get non-payers on every platform. eBay has ups and downs, just the way it is. Says Pleasant Valley. And Southwest Seller says, go and have a look at Down Detector. eBay has been having payment problems for the last 2 days. Wow, Gary, I did not know this. Good point about Down Detector. Down Detector is a good website, but sometimes I'm a bit wary of websites like that tell you whether they've because all it is people they base it on the amount of people complaining, right? So I'm not 100% sure if it's actually they know that there's parts of the website that are faulty, or whether they're just monitoring the amount of complaints about a website. And I'm pretty sure Down Detector is based on the amount of complaints people send in about any particular website. And World Event says, eBay has told me it is a bug technical issue affecting a lot of accounts. That would explain things somewhat. I mean, maybe. Peter Ray says, keep feeding the beast and sales will come in. People buy at the weirdest time and random stuff. Yeah, very true, Peter. That's all you can do, really. There's no point in trying to affect things that you have no control over. You've got to actually look at things that you do have control over. Right. Hi, Z in chat, says Lucy. Order News says hi. Pleasant Valley says, also with Facebook, you never know who you're dealing with. Did you hear about the poor lady in the USA that went to a house to buy baby clothes? Horrible story. I didn't hear that, Pleasant Valley, and if I'm honest, I don't really want to hear it because it sounds pretty bad. So if you wouldn't mind, PvP, to refrain from that story if you haven't already shared it. But yeah, it sounds pretty bad. But we have all heard of horror stories in the US specifically where people get held up at gunpoint and things like that. Nick says, did you catch our Habu video, Z, yesterday? I'm seriously thinking about sending loads more stuff in. They've expanded so much, removing a lot of packaging from my workload would be great. I've not actually, but I will look into that because anything that can help the process is good. And Lord Ahab says, hey, sorry, caps lock, no worries. Lucy says, not bad, finished watching telly. Oh, what were you watching? And question from Jason, are you car booting this weekend? Right now, I doubt it. I think we're pretty chilled. We've got a decent amount of stock on the general store at the minute. So something to think about. Lord Ahab says HPI went into administration. Maybe they sell off their RC parts. Lord Ahab, they will have done. What will happen in that case is if an RC company goes bust, the distributors will be unloading their stock to account holders. So the problem with that is you've got to be like an account holder. You've got to have like a trade account with the relevant distributor. So what's going to happen is HPI are going to have a official distributor for the UK and Europe or whatever, and if you have an account with that distributor and you've got a good relationship with the reps there, they may call you up and say, hey, we've got some of this stuff we want to unload. But it could work out well for the HPI parts that I do have, because obviously if they become difficult to get hold of and people want them, they will pay more. Some RC parts really do shoot up in value, just like anything else really. Some things which were brand new, super cheap, for we've sold many RC parts that were like £4 or £5 when they were new for like £20 and above. So there we go. Karen Sells Clothes says, when is Seller Lads on and whose channel? I don't know, Karen, because I'm not on the Facebook. But I think we decided it was going to be on Nick's channel, but I don't know times or dates or anything like that. So there we go. Georgina Geel. Hi, Georgina. How are you? Thank you for popping in. And Nick says, using the Chrome extension for Spock is a great help. That's a very good tip from Nick there. Chrome extensions are actually really useful in general. You can get them for all different kinds of apps. So people use them for when they're doing their Amazon FBA research. People use them for all kinds of things. Chrome extensions is generally a really useful thing. Kelly Flipping Fantastic Fine says, good evening, Kelly. And Auden, hi, Auden New One. Is Auden New One? I didn't see that name. Auden New One did say hi there. So Joan Berry says, would you mind me asking what percentage your profits you put back into stock? I'm hoping to start selling on eBay, Amazon soon, says Joanne. It depends really. On our main store, we don't tend to invest that regularly because we buy in bulk, and then we become in profit on the big job lots that we buy, and then we have lots and lots of parts to list. When it comes to the second store, the general store, we're pretty much sourcing weekly for that. You've got to obviously budget yourself. So what I'd suggest you do is when you start selling, you've got to have some kind of an idea of what, like, depending on your turnover, you're going to be paying out like 15 to 20% your fees for eBay and PayPal. You're going to have to work out how much per month do you pay Royal Mail for your postage, all that kind of jazz. Have a bit of money aside for reinvestment as well. But most people tend to just go out and buy it as they do, pretty much at the weekends when the car boots are on or when the charity shops are on. But having a budget is a good idea. But in terms of a percentage, second store, I would say probably no more than 20%, to be honest, at the moment, because I'm not going out that often. Like this week I've been out once, and we buy stuff. You can buy stuff really cheap at the car boots, and that can bolster your inventory up for a very small percentage of what you actually get back in your sales, especially when you're buying things for like £1 and getting 20-30 quid back for them. So that's what I'd say to that. Stu says, is there anyone here, if anyone here has much by Amazon accounts, now is the time to fill your available slots. People buying for summer. I'm seeing my sales figures go up and compensating for a dip in eBay figures, says Stu. That is fantastic, Stu. You know what, I've never really gotten rolling with merch. I'm really disappointed in myself for that, but I just don't think I've got the creative the creative juices needed really to kind of make those t-shirts that catch fire. And Karen says, Nick, I watched it yesterday and thought if they have Prime status, would it work out cheaper to send them than Amazon? Right, and eBay has a lot of bugs, says PvP. Bulletin boards have been messed up on .ca for the past week. Lucy says, just Britain's Got Talent, Z and Deck got a shock up the... What? What, Lucy? I don't even know. That's crazy. Buy HPI parts, will do well now, says Lord Ahab. If you can get them. The thing is, Lord Ahab, like with any industry, you've got to remember there's lots of established hobby shops out there that have got accounts with distributors that are going to be very friendly. I mean, we've got a good connection with someone that is in that situation that does get offered things like this, so it's possible that that we could get hold of these parts, but it wouldn't be from the source, so there would be a markup for us as well. Karen says, normally find eBay goes a bit glitchy after changes and then irons itself out. After this, going to have fun spamming the nosy parkers. I mean, watches, says Karen. Yeah, I mean, offers to watches, I was a bit dubious of it because I was worried about it being a bit of a spammy thing. For those of you that don't know, eBay does this thing where you can send offers to watches, and most of you will have it now on your eBay stores, so you can just send out offers, and it did work. You have to send out an awful lot of offers to get maybe one sale, but it's definitely worth it. I think what's nice about offers to watches is it's a proactive thing to do, isn't it? So rather than just sitting there twiddling your thumb wondering why you're not getting sales, eBay have given you a tool to directly engage and kind of push for a sale, to create a sale, because you're literally going out there and sending an offer to a buyer that otherwise may not have taken action to buy. PvP says, I didn't put the details about the Facebook story, Z, as didn't want to depress folks. Fair enough, PvP, appreciate it. Right, watch it back on YouTube, Pete. It was very funny and nothing to do with David Walliam, says Lucy. Okay. And Peter Ray says, Karen, it's on Nick's channel, 9 p.m. Monday. Okay. Lord Ahab says, I need ball bearings, and the set of ball bearings cost half as much as the buggy I bought. Lol. Ball bearings and sand do not go well, I found, but running in sand is so much fun. Definitely, Lord Ahab, running in sand is a lot of fun, especially if you use paddle tires. And yes, ball bearings do not mix well with sand. Some people use like marine grease and things like that on their ball bearings, but yes, you could always try to clean them out, but it's just a pain, isn't it? Chris B says, evening, sorry Mr. Star. No need to be sorry, Chris, thanks for popping in. Over the year, it works out 10 to 15% of turnover I spend on stocks, says Karen. Oh, there you go. There you got some actual figures there. And Dave says, oh dear, this is not good. I'm guessing it's just because it's just me, Dave. Has she left him? No, Dave, she hasn't. She's having a bath. She just wasn't in the mood this evening. She's had a backache. But thanks for the question, Dave. Joanne Berry says, thank you for answering. No worries, Joanne. I hope it was of some help. Question from Order New One. Have you seen a rise in sales from starting in the office? No, Order New One, that's what we're talking about. We've actually seen a drop in sales since being at the office. We've definitely seen an increase in productivity, and the amount of work we're doing has improved. We've increased the store, made the store a lot better, listing more regularly, but we've actually seen a dip in sales since being in the office. But it's not due to the office, it is just to do with the time of year. And it's an important thing to point out that just because you do a lot of work, don't expect that instant return. I think sometimes we all are guilty of feeling like, oh, I've done work this week, I've done a bunch of listings, why aren't my sales picking up? And I just urge you to remember the times, if you've been doing this long enough, you will have times where you'll have sat there and thought, I've barely done any listing this week, and yet my sales are better than when I did do a bunch of listing. So it is a case of doing the work will pay, but don't expect it to be such a clockwork type situation where you do a bunch of work and it pays off. Like, because, you know, I'll be honest, I have had times over the past few weeks where I felt pretty rough and down about this, because we're working really hard. We're putting the work in. more than ever before. I'm not even on social media. I don't waste time. I'm productive, getting plenty of work done compared to before. We're better at working on our business than we've ever been, guys, now. But unfortunately, the sales figures do not represent that at the moment. But when they do, I have a feeling that we will benefit really strongly compared to before. But that's the answer. That's the honest answer, order a new one. So actually, no, we've not seen a rise in sales. That's the short answer. Bundle by Luke says, just my personal observations. I believe eBay is going to surprise getting a lot more traffic this year for sure. PS, I do a very decent amount of sales daily on both platforms. Just something I see. Thank you for sharing that, Bundle by Luke. I think that's a really important thing. There are plenty of people that are doing well right now, even if you're not. And you have to just bear in mind everyone's business is different. Not fallen into the river yet then. No, Dave, she hasn't pushed me into the divot, to the canal yet. If already discussed, I've been buying on eBay, and as reported in the chat earlier, eBay checkout was dead earlier today, says Dave. I did not know that, but it has been shared, Dave, but do appreciate you kind of adding to that, because obviously the more people that corroborate a comment, it just adds more weight to it, doesn't it? So wow, just had a notification on Spock and Nick Hills is listing, says Dave. Yeah, he's giving it another chance. Question, are you focusing for Q4 yet for the general store? Not yet, Karen, not yet. At the moment on the general store, we're going by the general store, you can only buy what's in front of you, so it's difficult to source for a particular time of year. However, for the hobby store, we are looking at getting in stock specifically for like Q4, and that's something we're going to be looking at growing. Getting into the situation where we can do that. But yeah, thank you for the question. Do appreciate it, Karen. Eek, huge part of Marvel Comics, says Dave. Okay. All right, Jason says thumbs up, folks. Oh, thanks, Jason. Yeah, if you do enjoy the content, please give it a thumbs up. Do appreciate it. Order New One says, sorry I asked. No, don't be sorry, Order New One. Or are you sorry that you asked because I gave such a long answer I could have given such a short answer as I said no, they're down, but I chose to give you like the flowery, detailed version with all the bits, just to make myself feel better, Order New One, but hopefully it was an answer that you can appreciate. Z's very productive except when he's on Fortnite, says Lucy. Very funny. Nick selling lube? Dave, can you stop spreading rumors? I'm sure he's not selling just straight up lube. or not that kind, not the kind I'm thinking of anyway. Z, stay positive. We are very positive. Pommy Picker says, good morning. Hi, Rod. Thanks for popping in. Crazy Daisy says, how's the new office? Crazy Daisy, the office is fantastic. We're getting plenty of work done. Now we're just hoping that the work will translate into better sales, because currently it's not. But apart from that, it's amazing. And I honestly, if someone was asked, if someone asked me, like, if you were to ask me now, is it worth getting an office, even with the sales as they are, I would honestly say, if you can afford it, yes. If you can afford it. Obviously, if you can't, then don't, but that goes without saying. But it really is a game changer in many ways, many ways. Chris B says, I filmed a pickup sales video, but not uploaded them, Peter says. Chris B, oh, okay. Regarding the dead eBay is real, JavaScript change, I think, but I used my mobile to buy items I needed. It was dead for over an hour, says Dave. Wow, okay. Have heard problems with checkout on eBay Canada as well. And Dave says, did I miss the guaf? Yes, you did. Bexify has commented, if I can find the freaking comment. Come on. I will find it. It's gonna be here. eBay having problems is my excuse for having minimal sales then, lol. Yep, it works. I'm going with that as well. Order New One says, no, I thought you'd be a millionaire by now, lol. Order New One, I'm hoping that will be the case at some point, but yes, it's not happened just yet. Yep, Dave, the guafs were awesome, says Southwest. Says they weren't awesome, they were tragic. Lube by Worth. That's a different kind of lube. Okay, right. Evening, morning, Rod says Grisby. No lube here, never listen to Dave. I've listened to Comic Bundle and a box of Lego cards. Flipping Fantastic Finds, Kelly says, Z, you need to see Mandy. She's always flipping on Insta. New coffee machine she's had fitted at home. She's had a coffee machine fitted at home. I will have a look at it. No, okay. Gosh. George Ross says, hey everyone, sorry I'm late. No need to be sorry, George. Thanks for popping in, appreciate it. Yeah, there's really not a great thing else to add, to be honest. Yeah, so to sum it all up, guys, another week. It's been a productive one. Work is being put in now, so hopefully we will be able to reap the rewards of it in the future, not as immediately as we would like, but hopefully in the future. Okay, if there's any questions or comments, please put them in the chat, because otherwise I will be wrapping it up and playing a bit of Fortnite and watching Fortnite Friday. George Ross says filming with the wife this evening. The long-awaited wife video with George Ross. Lots of people are going to be looking forward to that, including myself. It will be good to see the lady behind the quiff. So George, I look forward to seeing that. Right, don't believe Nick Hills about the lubes, says Sail Away. I'm gonna go with what Nick has said there, so there we go. Right. Anyway, guys, I think that is it. I'm not gonna ramble on any longer. Okay, Karen's got one more question. Plans for next week: salt more tat, list more tat, shout out phone to ka-ching and repeat. See, Karen, you know, that sounds so sad. That sounds so sad. It's not as sad as that. It doesn't I know what you mean. It is a grind. I think it's honest though. It is honest. It is a grind. It is this whole thing can be a grind, and there are times where you think, what am I doing, seriously? But if it was easy, everyone would be doing it, guys. Remember that. And like, again, I go back to one of the best movie quotes of all time: the night is darkest just before the dawn. You do have to believe that. And you know, the work will pay off. It's just, it may not pay off as quickly as you think. It's like I said, but in some cases you get rewarded when you feel like you shouldn't be being rewarded. I mean, I've had sales. We've had plenty of weeks of sales. We've had weeks of sales where we barely did any listing and we were having really good sales, and it's just the way it is. George Ross says, haha, she heard that as you read it out, Z. Now crapping herself. Oh no. She'll be fine. I'm sure she's a natural. Filling for YouTube, I must add, haha, none of this mucky stuff. I did sell some mechanics lube about a year back on Spock. Are you trolling my souls, Dave? Says Nick. There you go. Dave, you need to be more accurate with your comments. It was mechanics lube. I'm glad we've done that. And Flipping Fantastic Finds, best hair on YouTube, George's or Z's. It's got to be George's, man. George's hair is, Z has the best natural waves. No, I think George has got the hair on lockdown. There's no competition, guys. There's no competition. But there we go. Right, guys. I am going to call it a night now. Watch a bit of Fortnite, play a bit of Fortnite. I do appreciate everyone joining me. Again, a massive thank you to Karen for that very generous super chat for some bath salts. It was very kind of you. So Beck will hopefully be back with us next week. We'll see. And other than that, hopefully we'll put a video out at the weekend if we go out sourcing or something. But yeah, we'll see. Thanks for watching, guys. Really do appreciate it, and we will see you next time. Bye.